It better not be the tank.
Can you hear it now?
No, funny enough, since I mentioned it. Oh, there it is.
Apparently, that's not me. I wasn't breathing.
It must be Nevin. He's the other one that's got the mic down, but under his nose. Ooh, very cyberpunk. Look at that.
That's going to be really irritating. Just in my eye line.
Just put it down. There you go. Perfect. I was saying that. I'm looking at different. I've got 3 different streams here up and running, so I'm looking at different angles. And Holt, have you got yours above your peak?
Oh, it's just there.
It's hidden away. Well, as we can see, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Episode 15, Book 2, Empire in Flames. We've got everybody here. Sorry for missing last week. As we can see, we've got a couple of changes. Well, 2. Holt and Ivan. You can now see what they look like.
This may not be a good thing. We may have to go back.
Turn the light off quickly.
Smaller bulb.
I'm not too sure, but has Ivan just discovered he's got moderator privileges on Twitch?
What?
I'm just wondering if Ivan has just discovered he has moderator privileges on Twitch, because suddenly I have the FaZe clan offering or trying to sell their merchandise on our stream.
Yeah. Plebs.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, don't turn that.
Probably some Streamlabs. It's gone now.
Yeah, I just turned it off. That's a bit
some
naughty.
deals on the site.
Yeah. That's weird. So yes, we missed last week. We had, as usual, audio faults. But we have overcome them once more. We hope. We've got a new look. This is the first time we've actually got to show this look, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
It was, yeah. This was sort of the big reveal last week, and then it just turned into the big Microsoft's a bag of balls.
Yeah. And now I am going to make a slight alteration to the chat.
This is where the entire screen goes. Right. Oh.
That's better. There we go. And now move away from the keyboard. Right, guys. So, the last time we were live, I believed that somebody not a million miles away from the screen we're looking at set fire to Midnight. But before we go there, it was the raid, the much anticipated raid. The group entered the sewers through the western gate of the city of the White Wolf upon the Fauschlag Mountain, and they went through the sewers, came across the entrance to the Templars' barracks, and made their way inside. Once inside, you found yourselves in a dungeon used for torture. Upon entering the main corridor, you could see several cells and a guard, apparently sleeping. At which point the door slammed shut and there was dark laughter echoed down the corridor. It turned out to be the Urrin-gad, the creature known as the Low One, a summoned demon that has been able to possess the near dead historically, and had taken over the form of Blaine Burrows. The guard outside had been killed, not by the Urrin-gad, which was chained to the wall, but had been stabbed through the mouth and had died pretty much without any fight, indicating that he knew his attacker. Framling spent some time talking to the Urrin-gad. The Urrin-gad made a point of requesting several times for the blood of the boy as proof proof of trust between you guys, between Framling and the Urrin-gad. You refused. However, Arnung stepped forward and ran his sword through the palm of his hand.
Mutilated himself.
I don't know, exaggeration.
I needed just a touch of blood. Yours.
Yours for the price of.
Ooh, free quavers.
The Urrin-gad was very talkative, and under questioning, you discover that Jonaru, one of the former Soviet, the Elak, one of the more powerful demons that had came through some time past, was on his way to the city. He had been sent there by the Emperor's advisor, Anton Sachs, who you also discovered was Achilles, the shade-bound, formerly Hakon. He was due within a couple of days. However, you were warned that a show of power would be sensed by Jonaru, and that could hasten his arrival. Other information that you received at that point was that the Ahalt the Drinker was a subverted cult of Tal that had been headed by Ivrig Sin and was being used, was spreading throughout the Empire itself. The Emperor was a puppet of Ivrig Sin, and effectively meaning that Ivrig Sin was once more ruling the realm. From there,
He doesn't give up that bugger, does he?
no, he's got a point to make. You discovered that his goal in sanctioning these Templars who were misguided, they believed that they were doing Sigmar's work, but the sanctioning of them was to hunt down and destroy the witch. Anybody with any magical ability, any magical affinity, anyone that even remotely resembles something that is none of the mundane, in an essence to root them out and destroy them, to turn public opinion against them for all time. This would do several things. One would be, if you with a bit of luck, it would flush out Ulmacor during the process. Would severely, and mainly, the main primary goal was to severely reduce the effectiveness of the Empire in defending against a future invasion of the realm by the Northern Wastes. An invasion that you have no idea how long that's going to be, when the near future is, when this invasion's planned for. You were able to identify that the Skaven Wars, the plague preceding it, and the Skaven Wars were, specifically the plague, was instrumental in weakening the Empire, removing a strong emperor and replacing him with a puppet. And in the meantime, the weakened empire was then invaded by the Norse. All of this was so that agents of Ivrig Sin could penetrate the empire unseen, and they are still to be considered active within the empire. Manfred Skavenslayer, the current emperor, is in Karaborg now with Achilles, and Ivrig Sin's agents are running rampant throughout.
Sure. It's a peachy Wednesday in the Empire.
Yeah. Also, that during the Skaven Wars, not specifically during the plague itself or in the latter days of the plague, the Knights of Mor of Middenheim were attacked in secret and slain, and they were replaced by worshippers of Ahalt, as in Ivrig Sin's worship, as in his subverted religion. They have been wearing the priest's habits, and they've been going through the rituals of Mor for the dead, for the city, but of course none of those rituals are for Mor. They've always been to Ahalt, they've always been to Ivrig Sin, and by default the Raven-god. All of the dead have been dedicated for 40 years to the Raven-god. It is a massive, blasphemous turn of events. It's truly dark and horrific. The head of the Templar, the head of the Ahalt, who are pretending to be priests of Mor, is Albrecht Zimmerman. He was there at the original inception, but he has had fresh blood over the years. That's these guys, these warriors that you've already encountered. So none of these priests of Mor are actually Mor priests. A massive offence to arguably one of the combined, if you consider Tal to be the ancestor god, Ulrich to be his most powerful, ferocious brother, Mor, one of the southern gods, is equally as powerful as Tal, but obviously of the land of the dead. Now, Mor is not the god of death. Mor is the god of the dead. And he is sufficiently powerful. Bye, Devon.
No, it's just flashed up and said there's a problem. I'm just changing the camera back again. All good?
Nope,
Still
you're
not good?
back. No.
Okay. I am.
Just a matter of interest, Ivan, that we took that off because people weren't able to talk when they came in.
Yeah, but you also got people kind of like rushing through the channels, bots and stuff, spewing dicks all over the place. So,
I haven't done it yet, but yeah.
Well, I'll leave it off for now. But it's normally something that I would set like so.
Is there a shorter number?
Yeah, probably.
Because if it's just a bot coming through dropping crap, then normally I would have thought 60 to 120 seconds might be sufficient if we can go that low.
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be followers to actually to chat, I suppose. But it's just kind of like it's just precaution, really. But if we get trouble, we'll enable it, I suppose.
Yeah. Cool. Nevin, you're back. At least it looks like you are. Do you want to move your hand? Nevin? Nope, he's frozen. Hello.
There
you're
he
back.
is.
Hello. Sorry about that, guys. Just Microsoft shot itself.
No, you're looking good. Yeah, I've totally lost track of what the hell happened there. Where the hell was I?
Yeah, you were talking about the fact that the priests of Moor weren't actually priests of Moor, and that Moor is not the god of the dead.
No, he is. He's the god of the
Sorry,
dead. He's not the god of death.
Not the god of death. Yeah.
He's the god of the dead. So it truly is an horrendous act against everyone that's passed. Because bear in mind that Moor's worshippers will give the rights of the dead to even a chaos worshipper. They believe that everybody is judged by Moor. So regardless of your own fealty, regardless of your own leanings, the priests of Moor will treat you differently. The only people that they get offended at are those that mess with dead bodies, necromancers and that sort of thing. And ultimately what you've got here is you're having these souls are being stolen. Effectively, if you believe that in such a way, the souls are not making it more. From Framling's point of view, obviously this is something of, should be a concern for everybody. But a slight undercurrent is why hasn't Moore dealt with this? 40 years this has been going on, and this is remember this mythos, this world that we're in. The gods interact. Framling, I think has a perfect example of the gods interact. All right. So
Yes.
So basically, and you.
Which is why in the last episode, when we were live, which is why Framling was basically now targeting those more priests immediately and said, that's our new target, just to refresh everyone.
Yeah, exactly that. So ultimately where we are now is, before we get to that point, after the Urrin-gad situation, he referred to a lot of information. We've covered off, if not all of it, most of it. You then went around the barracks. He admitted that he'd set them all against each other. There'd been a great slaughter the day before, which you thanked the various gods that potentially you weren't there for. You were expected to have gone there the day before, but you were delayed a day, and the slaughter took place without you. As a result of this, you still walked around the barracks to double check. You came across the Lord Commander in a hell of a state, to put it bluntly, at which point you set fire to him. And during that process, he thrust his sword through Talbot's chest, upper shoulder. Arnung's chest and upper shoulder. But the fire caught, and you made a hasty retreat through the city streets upon stolen horses back into the alt quarter and into a safer location. It ended up with Arnung on the table inside of the pawnbroker's, your safe house, bleeding out. Leaf was able to get a local doctor to turn up, stitch him up, stop the bleeding. During said process, which is literally where we were finishing off, Arnung's lying on the table, shirt off, bleeding heavily, going in and out of unconsciousness. He started speaking to Fordell. You heard him referring to this Fordell several times while the doctor operated on him. When the doctor had finished, Framling had mentioned or noted, "Will he survive? How bad is this?" And the doctor clearly stated he should be dead. that wound should have killed him. He should have bled out, but look at the injuries, and Arnung's body is a crisscross of thick welts and scars. Never mind the most obvious one that cuts across the middle of his face, but several of these were killing blows. They weren't just tissue damage. You could see that he's had wounds to various different areas that could only have damaged or destroyed internal organs. He should not be alive, and the doctor said as such. So that's where we are for now, but we're going to take a moment before we go back into game, in case anybody needs to quickly get a drink or anything like that.
Yeah, I need to fix my Wi-Fi, mate. It's the signal's awful.
Yep, no problem. It's... What the hell was that?
Powered by goats.
Goat loving!
Beastman.
You're a beast, man!
Rawr.
For such a
Why,
small
man?
can, that seems to be pouring forever. I'm going to wonder if there's a hose stuck in the back of it.
That's just the keg.
Yeah. A keg of energy drink. So, do we have any out-of-game questions for you guys? Any things that you need to bring up? Out of game. Anything that needs to be done in game will be done in game.
No.
No, not really.
Right.
We are all happy.
We should, I should have a intermission.
We'll be right back after this small commercial break.
Yeah. Remember to put your mic up a little bit, Nevin. Just a little bit above the nostril, or level with them. Perfect. Ivan's off fixing Wi-Fi.
Ah, anyone's?
Yeah, next door.
Just in the neighbourhood. Not all heroes wear capes, you know.
So I've asked Holt and Talbot in the intermission period at this point in time. Never anything out of game. Obviously, if it needs to be done in game, then we'll have to wait. But out of game, is there anything about the last week's episode that you want to remember quickly?
No, not that isn't going to be said in game. I don't think.
We've been there before, and then suddenly say, "Oh, wait a second."
Yeah, there was.
Is it crap?
Yeah.
Where's my god-killing weapon?
Oh,
Oh,
that was
what that?
unexpected. I don't know.
I just swallowed a mouse.
Again.
Oh, it's the arm of doom.
Doometh.
Commits to the sit.
Hello. And you're back.
Oh,
Hello. Right. So the game ended. The session ended. Session 14, the raid ended with Arnung on the table. You've covered him over. He's a big lump. The staircase is thin. It is this moment. There's blood all over the floor. You've thrown a blanket over him as he's lulled in and out of conscious. Effectively, you're going to struggle. It's not impossible, but you're really going to struggle getting him up those stairs. But what other option do you have? Potentially bring the straw mattress down, stick it in the front of the shop, and you can move him out there and lay him down. He's going to need his rest. The doctor identified that he should be dead, but it's going to take many weeks, for him to be up and about again. Loss of blood and the injury to the shoulder is is heavy. So you will, at this point in time, no doubt have to move. You don't want to disturb him too much. He's a big man. He's got a high constitution, but a high threshold to pain. But Leaf has just give him some sedatives, some painkillers, and his head rolls over to the side, and his breathing is shallow but strong. And the three of you are standing in this blood-soaked floored kitchen, very early hours of the morning, and are well aware that there's the smell of smoke and soot upon you, blood, and the adrenaline starts to leave you.
And presumably, because we went in through the sewers, a slight aroma, a slight effluvia.
Yes,
a hint, just a hint of poo.
Yeah, the protective wax armored clothing helped you sufficiently, but psychologically, but not as it could have been better. So yeah, you all stand there literally as the adrenaline leaves you, and you collectively almost let out this. There's the slight shakes in the hands as you stand around this table. The doctor leaves, the door closes. Joseph has made himself scarce, leaving you guys in this kitchen with a couple of candles burning, giving off not quite sufficient enough light to lighten any mood. Yeah, you just feel that sort of tidiness of the experience. I'll leave you.
Leaf, is this back room secure? Is this being utilised? Can we leave Arnung here, or we need to get him somewhere else? Maybe he's upstairs.
He should be fine here. Yeah.
So
we get someone to guard him and stuff, so it'll be fine.
As in, we can bring a bed down here. We can form a cot and sort him out here.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you'll need some sort of well, for want of a better word, a nurse, someone to look after him, tend his wounds, because I don't think he's moving tomorrow. Is that something we can do? We can arrange?
Yes.
Right. Okay, we'll get that sorted out. Now, and I'll walk over to the window. There is a window down here, isn't it? I seem to remember it's a shop.
It's so you're in the back room. Because it's a pawnbroker's, both the front and back is heavily reinforced. The back window, though grotty, looks out onto a tight alleyway, so there's very little light during the daytime itself. So it's pitch black out there. The window panes, the 4 small glass window panes, are grimy, covered into the corners, with only a small central area which you can wipe clean, but it doesn't clean the front. So it's very limited sight.
Is it so it's not pointing in the direction of the barracks that we've just set fire to?
You are at the far south of the city itself, so you'd have to have some seriously good view to be able to see up. You are close enough to an alleyway that you're just seeing darkness.
What I'm looking for is there a glow? Is there this thing's getting out of hand?
You wouldn't be able to see from where the way that the building is.
Ah, right, okay. Not from the back, but because this thing's shut, isn't it? I mean, it's not like a daytime; it's nighttime. Mm-hmm. So I can walk away to the front part of the shop, and I'm just trying to orient it just to see whether the fire's spread or whether it's been contained.
You are literally in the south of the city. You're not going to be able to see anything from here. If it gets into a full-on block blaze, then you'd have to go out, or you'd have to work your way, because you're in a back street anyway. You'd have to work out onto the main boulevard, look north, and if you could see it from here, you probably want to leave the city at that point.
Right, well, that's what I'm trying to work out, whether it's actually just turned into a huge conflagration and we're like, we've just, anyways, we burnt down the White Wolf, that's good. It's all about rebuilding.
Yeah, that's a win from somebody, for sure. This building particularly, this location, no matter how much you'd be a couple of streets away and the building would probably have caught. If you went onto the main boulevard, you are literally, this is not a town. This city is huge. It's one of the largest cities in the empire. It's the top of a mountain. It's big.
Right. No. So it was more of if this had turned into a city fire. I'd been to see it, but it hasn't turned into a city fire yet. No. Right. Okay. Or it's not going to turn into a city fire. No subtle hint to anyone who may be in charge. No, it's not. Okay. Well, after I've had a wander around and realised that I can't see diddly squat, I'll go back in the back room, and as I'm going to the back room and I'm looking at Arnum, I'll Renyir, you all right?
Touch the back of my neck. Don't know.
Go over to him. Say, when turn around? Let's have a look. I'll
Show
spin
him the
him
back
round,
of my
please.
neck.
You can see a cut. It's not a scratch. It's a bladed weapon. It was a sharp object, and has cut. Remember, Renyir is a
Like a
small,
claw.
slight build,
Or
or a dagger,
something sharp.
cut through the thing. Now it is shallow, therefore the blood is light. It's a bleeder. It's bled down the back of his shirt, but it is. It's a surface wound, enough to make him bleed, but not enough to cause any serious concerns or issues.
When did you get this? When did this happen?
Before Arnung was stabbed. When we were searching the block.
Right. Okay. So not that thing that came out and stabbed on. That didn't cause any problems for you.
No, I think the one that was trying to bargain for my blood.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Unfortunately, I thought that was maybe the case. Just if you could, I'm looking around, cast around the kitchen for a chair. Sit yourself down on if there's a chair or a bench. Just sit yourself.
Several chairs.
Right, just sit yourself down.
Let's sit down.
And I'll pull a chair up, like drag one across, and sit on. So I just want you to stay still. Just breathe normally. Close your eyes. Just relax. So when he does that, I'm going into. I also close my eyes, and I'm tapping into the winds and also the humord, and looking at basically his aura, and looking at what's transpiring with his aura, if anything.
Okay. Holt, I'm assuming that you're just going to be sitting there, Renyir. Christ, why am I doing this tonight? Leaf, while he sits down, you see what obviously has just been described. Are you doing anything?
I'll put the kettle on.
Excellent. That man will go far. One in trouble, cup of tea.
Randy.
Yeah, that boy's not going to survive. He's going to get cirrhosis of the liver by the time he's 18.
That's Arnung's fault.
Don't worry about the cut. Yeah, your liver's gone.
Yeah. Thanks to my peers.
But don't worry. We'll harvest your organs. It'll be fine. Oops, sorry.
Oh, pickled.
All right. Okay, I'll come out of my trance and say, well, other than you needing a bit of a clean-up, are you feeling weak at all, or are you feeling okay?
Out of my depth.
Other than your psychological state, are you feeling okay physically?
Dandy.
Dandy. Very expressive. Okay. I'll go over to Arnum and have a look down at him and see, is he conscious?
No, he's not. Remember, this is a small room. You're literally sitting at your table at a chair.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stand up.
So you turn. It's a very small place. He dominates the centre of the room. You got to walk around him to get to different areas of the kitchen. So you've been leaning over Renyir. You just turn and his head's beside you as he's lying there. But no, he's not moved physically. He's breathing. His breathing is still shallow, a little bit stronger perhaps. But otherwise, there's nothing. There's no movement from him.
All right. Okay. I'll basically I'll place my hands over him and close my eyes.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything at this point in time?
Stepping back.
Just need a moment here, guys.
At least he hasn't brought the candles up.
Yeah. I'll open my eyes and really? And then close them again.
I mean, as far as Renyir and Leaf's concerned, you don't feel anything. The two candles don't gutter, voices don't cackle at you from the darkness. As far as you can see, Framling is just meditating. Possibly, he's an old man. He might have fallen asleep almost, except for when he sort of looks up and says, and then looks back down again. Only moments have passed.
Right. I stand up. Okay, Leaf. Arnung is out for the count. He could be out for a couple of days. He could be out for a couple of weeks. He could be out for a couple of months. We don't know. The Moor Temple. Have you got eyes on that at all? What do you know about it? Accesses, exits, possible entries for us? What do you know?
I can get stuff for you. I can't do it straight away, but I can probably get the place cased for you.
Yeah, I think
for a plan.
That's what I mean.
Case us.
What was that, Renyir?
They've been trying to case us a few times.
They've been trying to case us. Oh, you mean the priests come looking for us? Yeah. Well, we know why
priests,
now.
Like.
Yeah, we know why. How secure is this place, Leaf? As secure as any? As in, have we got an exit if required?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the front door and the back door. They're both reinforced and barred. So, unless
they cunningly arrive at the front and back, dastardly things. There's no way down, basically.
I don't know, actually. I think there might be.
Right. Okay. But we're going to have to get Renyir's going to have to carry on. Because, I mean, I don't carry things. That's what I have people for. I think the plan that we should go through from what's transpired tonight is that corruption of Moor is the big imminent threat. Imminent at this point, but possibly in several days' time there'll be another imminent threat that's going to add to the amount of things that are going on. I'm also concerned that that big fire that we've just lit, if it gets out of hand, we're going to get a visit. We're going to get a visit from the from effectively the state police. What's he called? Her
Oberland.
Oberland.
Police.
No.
Remind me. These minions have got different names. Goebbels. So Goebbels, who's the interface between what's legal and what's not legal, he's going to be sniffing around as quick as you can say someone's just set fire to a temple or a barracks of witchfinders. Yeah, and he's going to start shaking trees and digging into holes to see what he can find. And I'm sure that Arnum will be on his list of people of interest to talk to see what's going on. Obviously, if he finds him with a huge big wound to his chest, he's not going to say, well, he obviously got that playing conkers. What's your relationship with him? How big do you feature in his mind as a person who could be of interest to want to talk to or slap about?
I don't really have much contact with him, to be honest.
Right. So he wouldn't necessarily know about this place or your...
No. Well, possibly, actually. I mean, he's got a lot of spies in the area, and he's a man. But...
Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen tonight, I don't believe, but it could happen tomorrow when the dawn comes up, and depending on how big that fire's got, it could be sooner than that. So what I think I would like to see, Leaf, is can we find out what are the exits and entries up, down, sideways for that Templar Moor, and also surreptitiously. I mean, I'll leave it to your skill set and leave it to your wider domain network of finding out if Goebbels is on the warpath to in terms of what's just transpired last night, because someone's going to get the blame for what's gone on, because once the fire's burnt out, they're going to realise that some of these bodies didn't die by being burned. There's going to be hack marks and all sorts of stuff, and they're going to work out that someone took that place out, and they're going to want to start asking questions. And I believe Arnung's going to be high among those list of people who will want to be, who someone will want to question. So yeah, that's the plan for that. Any questions? Any thoughts?
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I'm probably get the temple information fairly easily. Really don't want to go on the radar of Goebbels though.
Well, that's why I say I'll leave that to you as to whether you touch the spider's web or whether you're just aware that the spider's web's there and you're monitoring it. As in,
no. What I'll do instead of that, I'll post sentries instead. The sentries and runners in the area, and I'll have a word with the boys and get as much information as I can for the Temple of Moor. See if we can get like a lay of the land and kind of like the best way to sneak in there, whatever you want to do, really. But I'm reticent to stir that hornet's nest because we've got a job to do now, and that's just a massive distraction.
I'll just keep an eye out front then.
It's not so much. I just want to be aware that we could be getting a visit, and we need to be prepared for that.
Oh yeah, well that's what I mean. The sentries will let us know if we're going to do, and if we are. I mean, we do need an exit strategy. It might be worth kind of like posting kind of like sentries around or near them. Yeah, okay.
It's
I'll
more
have
the fact
word
of
with the boys.
Can we get
I'll have a word with the
so.
boys.
So we might not be able to evade Goebbels if he comes looking, but can we get, we can if it's just us and we're looking perfectly all right. Which reminds me, we're probably going to need to get some new clothes because I imagine, well, I know you stink, so I imagine and we all probably do. We can possibly bluff our way out of it, but if he sees Arnum on a slab like this, clearly having gone through some sort of fight, then we're going to get dragged into a cell for further questioning of a not pleasant type. So
yeah,
I'm just thinking about how
I get what your concerns. What I'm saying is kind of like he can bring so much to bear on us at such a short notice that it's not really in our best interests to kind of like. Look, if you kind of set fire to our barracks and then suddenly kind of,
I'm not saying then we go knock on the door and all of a sudden.
No, I'm talking about kind of like associates. I mean, like he'll know associates. He knows who runs in what circles, who's from where. He's got his own spies, So kind of like more we are nonchalant about it, the better for us. Yeah,
no, I get that. I get that. I don't want to be putting our head above the barracks and above the parapet and drawing attention to ourselves. But I also think it would be a bit naive if we just assume that he's not going to shake the tree and see what falls out, and we're part of that tree. So we just have a contingency.
I suppose yeah.
Looks like we're having some serious.
I mean, there's no one saw in there.
We hope.
Probably me.
We hope.
Yeah, just sorry, very quickly, I have to break out of character here. Ivan, of all the people talking, admittedly it's only you and Devin at the point, you're breaking up a bit. It looks like the other issue I'd mentioned just a second ago looks like it's corrected itself. We've just lost Holt, but he's back.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, just there, mate. You've turned very Dalek-y.
Okay. I'm just gonna pause some stuff and reduce my bandwidth a bit. Right, how's that?
We'll find out. Fingers crossed that's alright. So yeah. Do you want to... Yeah, continue on.
Right. So, Leaf, if you can go ahead and start that process of let's find out where the entries points, all the entry points for that temple is, and we can start planning that. While you're there, we need to obviously sorry to load all the stuff on you, but you're the man. We need to get someone some sort of care package sorted out for Arnung here on the slab. And Renyir, don't stray too far. That cut on your neck needs looking at.
You notice he's not there.
Oh, he's gone. Oh,
As you turn around
I
to
did
see
say
him,
I was going at the window.
he shouts from the front, having just heard you talking to him. So be
Right.
careful there, right? You bear in mind that while you were talking, he said something. Obviously, he didn't hear it. And he walked away into the front room. He overhears you starting to talk to him, and then pause as you notice he's no longer
Turn
there.
around. Renyir, where are you?
Yeah,
Um,
he's in the front of the
call
shop, looking out through the front door.
okay, well, I'll lean through the door and just say he's looking out through the front of the door. Door's open.
No, as in through the window.
Oh, right. Okay,
The barred window onto
Hey,
the street.
Just Renyir, we just need to get that cut on your neck cleaned up and have a look at it. But and you're going to need new clothes because you're going to stand out as someone who's been in a bit of a tussle. And just let me know how that neck wound's feeling. Don't worry if you think it's strange, if it starts itchy or there's anything like that. Just let me know. I'm a bit interested in that, mainly in the manner by which you got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basically fine. I just feel a little bit tired, but what do you expect?
Yeah, I don't want you to walk it off. I don't want you to not tell me. I want you to tell me if there's something that you're experiencing. That cut didn't come by any combat. We never saw any. You didn't get involved. No, but you've got quite a gash there, and we know who was interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
Now then, while that's going on, sorry. Okay, guys, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna just check on him in a bit of a more deeper state. Leaf, I see you got a kettle going. Cup of tea would be great, mate.
All right, coming up. I'll move to the. I'm guessing the shop guy's still there.
He'll be upstairs. In
Okay.
bed.
What time is it?
At this point in time, it will be early hours of the morning, 1-2 o'clock.
All right. Okay. So I'm maybe at the front of the shop. Step outside and
you're
see if
frozen.
any of my boys are.
Sorry, mate, you're freezing
Yeah,
up really bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad today. Yeah, so I'll move to the front of the shop, go outside, look for one of my henchmen.
Yep. Okay.
All right, and pass on the details out. Basically, we're wanting the temple of more information, infiltration, lay of the land, numbers, whatever. We want basically it fully surveilled. We're after some clean clothes, although I think we should be good, since we're wearing the sewer Jack's kit, weren't we?
Yeah, you will.
We might just need a wash.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll make a cup of tea.
Yeah, you come back in, no problem. Ren, you're still going to be standing.
Yeah.
On guard as we're to the front. Arnung's unconscious. Arnung's standing beside him, and Leaf is making a cup of tea. barring one of you, you will be wanting to get some sleep, no doubt. You want to get as much rest as you can, not knowing what's coming up. So it wouldn't be advisable to stay up all night in some kind of disillusioned sort of hero pose. This place is as fortified as you can find, being the pawnbrokers. If Goebbels or Obland or anybody wants to get to you, no matter where you're going to be in the city, they're going to get to you. But you will be wanting to get some head down, get some sleep.
Right, and I'll step back outside and speak to me henchman again.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And post since I forgot.
Yeah. And that means that you can effectively everyone within the room itself can sleep as soundly as possible under the circumstances, knowing that you will be given advanced warning of intruders well before they reach you.
Okay.
So you sit down with a cup of tea. Renyir's in the other room. Arnung is standing over. No, he's not. Framling standing over Arnung. Another hour goes by. You're starting to feel the aches and pains of an hour and a half of crawling through the sewers themselves. You're able to, during that time, get a bath drawn up, take turns bathing as much as you want. Taking turns and refreshing the water and cleaning yourselves up.
Hey everyone, bath time! Whee!
Fall asleep in the bath.
Whose toe is that? Right. After I've spent some time hovering over Arnhem, I'll be saying to the guys, right, I'm going to put your head down because these bones are older than you know, and I'm going to need to gather my strength for what's coming.
Okay. I'm assuming, Leaf, that you've told them that the place has been secured.
Yeah. About the sewer access that is none.
There's no sewer access.
This is where we came because we were being chased through the sewers, remember? So kind of like we're
right.
out
Oh,
the
okay.
sewers, yeah.
This place, sorry. Yeah, this is not a reference to... Oh, okay. Right, no. I thought you meant like the... Right, okay, so we've got a front and back, and that's it.
Yes.
Right. Okay, well, it is what it is. I'm going to get my head down. Nice cup of tea. Thanks, Leaf. Oh, hey, Leaf. Quiet word with you. Away from the boy. And
All right.
I'll bring him across there. It's just struck me. Where's your partner? Where's your offsider? Where's your partner in the Brotherhood? Why aren't you paired up?
I've never been paired up. I've always been here on my own.
Oh, you've never...
I have a master a couple of days away.
But you've never had anyone, a brother in arms that you've worked with since day dot?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, right, okay. No. Interesting. When this is all over, and we get out of this alive, which we will, I have no doubt of that. I've been through worse scripts. Not many, but I've been through worse. Maybe it's me and you will go and visit your master to have a chat, to see, just have a chat. But anyways, no, that's interesting. It's good to know. Interesting. Okay, no, right. I'm gonna get my head down. Your guys will presumably alert us if anything we need to know about in good time, so we're not awakened by anyone. They'll be doing the awakening before someone else does. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay. And I'll head back to wherever there's a cot or wherever we Leaf's motion to where we can get our head down.
So it's where you've been sleeping anyway, because you've been here a couple of days now. So it's upstairs. When you get up there, it's a very tight staircase. It's a medieval building in that sense. You climb up and you've got a front room, which is normally where Joseph would have as a sort of a living room. Mm-hmm. It's got several cots in there, and that's where you guys are sleeping.
Right. Okay. Put my head down. to have some sleep. Tell myself I'm only going to have a few hours, not an entire night. You know what I mean? I'm not sleeping through till 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then put my head down.
Okay. Well, as you go upstairs, Leaf, you're the last to go. You can see Renyir settles himself down in the front room. In the shadows, you can still see the front door and the window. Arnung is absolutely passed out. You've seen injuries like this before. Again, you marvel at the fact that the man is still breathing to survive a wound to the chest such as he has. But he seems to, even in the last couple of hours, his breathing has improved. Leaving you in the kitchen for a while before you... Are you sleeping? I assume you're going to go upstairs and get your head down?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just before we... Okay. There's no one here looking after Arnum. We just left him on the slab downstairs on the kitchen table. That's basically what's happened, is it?
Well, effectively, you can ask that as Leaf walks into the room.
Yeah, well, I will do. So there's no one down there. He's by himself.
All right, I'll look after. I'll look over him.
Just
You're right.
if someone can stay down there, you know, like rather than us, just we can take turns over the coming days. But I don't think leaving him by himself, lying on a slab, lying on a kitchen table, is prudent.
Well, I am quite the amateur tattooist, so I'll have some fun.
Keep it off his face, okay? We don't want to be any more obvious than he is.
Okay, so Leaf, you go back down, draw up 2 chairs, get yourself comfortable.
Get your needles out. Ooh. See if I can get that hunting scene with the fox.
What the fuck's saying?
Where's the brush of the fox's tail going to be? Right. Sleep.
City burns.
Yeah.
Framling, you wake. The early hours, you've slept 3 or 4 hours. Dawn is approaching. It's got that greyness cast through. Joseph is still snoring. You can hear him from the other room, and you are by yourself in the gloom. Heading downstairs, everything is quiet. There's no sort of sounds, creaking floorboards, or talk or conversation. The city streets, because you're in such an area, because the building is cast back, the sounds are fairly subdued, but there's obviously a window slightly open or not necessarily fitted properly. You can still hear the sounds of the city as it comes awake. Heading downstairs, you approach. You come into the kitchen. The stairs don't have a door. As you step onto the kitchen floor, you can see because nobody bothered to clear up the blood. The blood is soaked into the floor on the table. Leaf is breathing deeply in sleep, feet resting up on the chair in front of him, and the table is empty.
I'll shout over to Leaf. Leaf, wake up.
What?
Yeah.
Arnum.
Where's Arnung?
Exactly. Let's quickly. Let's go and have a look around, see where.
Right, I'll check the doors, see if they've been opened.
Renyir, you obviously hear Framling's voice, Leaf, and you wake up from the front room. As your hand rests on the door handle of the back door, it opens. The handle literally turning downwards as you're reaching for it, and the door opens and Arnung stands before you. Well, he's actually walking into the room. And you sort of have that moment of oh.
Hand goes to axe loop. Like oh.
Yeah.
I step behind the open door.
Okay. Yeah, the big man steps into the kitchen.
Arnum, how are you breathing? Arnung,
Yes.
you feeling all right?
I don't understand what you mean, Framling. I feel fine.
Okay.
Should I not?
Do you have any memory what transpired last night?
Of course.
So, in your mind, what happened last night? Not the entire synopsis, just the
Well, the last thing I remember is taking a blade to the chest.
yeah. And then, where did you wake up?
My memory took me far and wide. I remember seeing things. I saw Fordell. I saw my homeland. I
Did
saw my wife.
Did Fordell talk to you?
He did. He talks to me often. I saw her walk past, make sure there's water in the kettle, and if the fire's not already on, I'll put it on.
Okay.
And how you
always
feel?
talks to me, Framling.
Yeah. He talks to you all the time, or has that been recent, or is that since last night? Has he always talked to you?
In my sleep. When I close my eyes each night, he's there.
And what about last night? He was still there as normal?
I saw him last night.
The same as ever?
Yes, same as ever. He was different though.
How so?
You see, Framling, when I usually see Fordell, he has this look upon his face as if to say, "Why? Why did you leave me?" Maybe that's me, my guilt. But it was different. This time, it's almost as if he was smiling.
Smiling in what way?
Just a smile upon his face.
And did he talk to you about anything specifically?
No, he didn't say a word.
Does he normally speak?
I hear his voice, like a distant whisper upon the wind.
Well, I think you should.
I called out to him. I always call out to him, and he's always out of reach.
But he wasn't last night.
He was a little distant, but he seemed content. He seemed fulfilled.
Do you have any recollection of how your wound healed itself so quickly?
No. For as long as I can remember, Framling, I've taken many strikes to the body, as you can see, and I've always healed well. Maybe the gods look favorably upon me.
Very favourably.
I'm still tired. I feel weak. My strength has not yet returned, but I'll be all right. I will live to fight another day.
Well, I think you sit yourself down. We'll get a brew on, and we'll let you know what's been going on. As in, after you're tended to, your wound looked at, we're gonna. Leaf's attempting to try and find out access points. And for the Temple of Mo, and that's our target. But sit yourself down. Sit yourself down. You've been through a lot. I'll turn over to Leaf. Leaf, can we get this? Is there a bucket or something to clean up this kitchen? Because it looks like an abattoir in here.
Yeah,
And,
sorted. I don't feel very well.
How so? What's wrong?
Snoring for starters. Could raise the dead.
I don't snow.
You do snow.
I've never heard myself snow.
The cry of all snorers. Oh, it doesn't wake me up.
Yeah, I'm a bit fuzzy.
And everyone else is like, I slept in tears. Renyir, was it you saying that you don't feel very well?
No, that was Leaf, but since you've asked,
me.
I also felt hungover this morning.
Hungover?
Past.
Well, that's just because you haven't topped up with your normal pint of brandy for breakfast.
I didn't drink last night.
That's why. That's why you're feeling hungover. You're getting the shakes, mate. You need to top up and get yourself a pint of brandy. That'll sort you out in the morning. I believe that's your normal breakfast. Leaf, do you have any hard liquor around here?
It's a pawn shop. It's got everything. Everything of value.
Nothing to do with the cut?
Something we can pour on the back of his neck and clean that up.
Got some special tea.
Rather take a poker.
Let's have a look at that. Just clean it up. Are you feeling a bit under the weather? Just like a hangover, Leaf.
Yeah,
you?
just
And
you know,
and you're
like I've
you're
been
feeling-
drinking.
Yeah, just when I woke up. Like my senses were dulled.
So what did happen when darkness took me, Framling?
We brought you here. We got you some attention. We cleaned you up, and we expected you to be out for the count for days. To be fair, for weeks, and you've picked yourself up in less than 4 hours from a massive blow. You are favoured, I think, by maybe it's my father, or maybe it's one of my father's siblings of some sort. But let's be fair, Arnung, that's not normal, even for one such as I, to recover from a blow like that so quickly. To survive it.
Lost a load of blood.
As you can see, it's all over the floor. That's all you.
Yes, I have seen my blood before.
So that's what's transpired. Ah!
Chaos Kitty on the screen?
It wasn't Tank. Else we would have seen your blood.
Straight for the artery.
Well, Arnung, rest. We've got a big day ahead. Are you feeling almost back to normal, or are you still weak?
I will be return. I will be back to normal soon.
Are you hungry?
Very.
Yeah, I'll get some food sorted and we'll have a nice big
I
breakfast.
could eat a cow. Give me a cow.
You will never know.
A scabby horse between two pissy mattresses.
I'm expecting if you can find him the arsehole of a dead dog, that would be okay because he's very hungry. All of these, I'm sure, are available in good time. Oh, okay. Go down to the arsehole of a dead dog store. Oh, why didn't you say? Oh, chef. Bring in Fido. What?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you back anyways, Arnung. It's good to see you in good spirits. It's good to see you alive. For a moment there, I thought that might have been the last time that I would see you in such a state.
I can't die yet, Framling. No.
Something you have to get off your chest?
Just dying simply isn't an option right now.
Well, I'm sure everyone at the point of their death thinks the same thing, or at least the vast majority. But that doesn't stop it from happening. You are a special man.
Very.
Okay, so basically, Leaf, at this point in time, you're getting some breakfast on. There's light tapping at the door. You step to one side. One of your guys is standing there. He reiterates, reporting back on the information that you have there, which is that the temple, I mean, these guys can hear him because the kitchen is tiny, that the access to the temple is through the temple proper itself or through the sewers. Any other way will be far too noticeable. Over the ridiculously high spiked fences, for example, but the place is and has been well repaired over the years and refortified. So through the front temple, or obviously through the sewers itself. Then bundles of clothing and that sort of thing are brought to you.
Cool.
The day's got till about 7 o'clock. Joseph walks downstairs, asks yourself, Leaf, am I okay to open the shop, or do I leave it closed and get myself away for the day?
Leave it closed. Get yourself away.
He heads off with a small shoulder satchel, about 20 minutes, half an hour later, after taking some food out of the larder, leaving you guys in a secluded, locked-in pawnbrokers. There is still, because nobody has tried, nobody's got to it, there is still congealed blood all over the floor in the kitchen. It looks a bit like an abattoir. There's no hiding the fact that somebody bled out far too much blood.
I thought that we were looking to clean that up.
But you didn't. You haven't.
Oh, right,
Unless one of you guys is going to get down on your hands and knees with a rag.
I'm cooking breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm watching the front.
Exactly. So I was right in assuming you were like, yes, and then just sort of as you stick to the floor in this dried blood and just get on with the day.
Is someone going to clean that up? Someone is. I wonder who that someone is.
Well, eventually when we leave, it'll be Joseph. And Joseph's left for the day going, someone. I'm going to burn the fucking place down.
With a minute.
Well, you have yourselves a hearty breakfast provided by Leaf. But otherwise, you are in that sort of time of the day, that quietness around you, that there's obviously a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of unasked questions, really. But you find yourselves in that sort of moment there where no doubt you are thinking what best to do and how to act upon that. Arnung has made it clear that he is, well, clearly from you three, he's up and about when he shouldn't be, but secondly, that he believes he'll recover as the day goes by. Renyir's at the front, but otherwise you three are in the back. And there's no doubt an uncomfortable, awkward silence. There is an elephant in the room.
Well, he's called Arnung.
I mean, there's no hiding the fact that Arnung's demeanour is grim.
Arnum, do you want to share with me more about your talks with Fordell and what transpires? Or is that too personal?
I don't know where to begin, Framling. I think Fordell, he's a part of me. He never left me. He comes to me when I sleep, almost every night. Would I say they are nightmares? Sometimes. His voice is haunting. But I think it's more because of my guilt. I wish the fool had just taken it, you know. And maybe he'd be here today.
Taken what?
Promises. We used to make promises all the time. It was the only thing I had, Framling. Before you, it was the only thing I had. Before Margette, before the boys, he's the only thing I had. We were not brothers by blood, but we were brothers by oath and promise. And I guess I miss him, Framling. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's to be totally understandable and expected. There is a reason why I set up the Brotherhood as I did. To be in pairs, says looking towards Leaf, so that a joint brotherhood to look after each other within a brotherhood, but also to be aware of changes, so that Ivriksson and his effects would be seen on one by the other. There's a protection. It's a necessary way. Unfortunately, the downside of it is that bond, once broken, has always been particularly hard on the surviving pair. And for that, it's unfortunately necessary, and as part of your oath to fight the good fight against ignorance, and it's a burden you unfortunately will have to bear until you know more. But after last night, I'm believing that no more is not on your horizon for quite some time. There's obviously my father or one of his siblings has something in store for you, because, quite frankly, you shouldn't be alive. You should not be around. This is a somewhat of a delicate question, but how did Fordell die? How did it go? Were you fighting against Ivriksson and his minions? Or was it more mundane?
We were there. We were there when the Ratkin came out of their hovels. They swarmed the lands with their infestation. We were there when it all began. And it took him. And it should have taken me. I should have died. He asked me to go on. He asked me to go on, Framling. He said he just needed to catch his breath. that's all he was going to do, catch his breath. It's almost as if that was a promise. He made him promise me that he was never to leave my side. No, we would get through this. I reminded him of our promise, Framling. When we were just young boys, we were to rule one day together. And look at me now, an old man, broken. Couldn't even live up to my promise.
It's a hard road of the Brotherhood. It's something that the enormity of it is something that the boys that are called the Brotherhood probably don't understand at that young age. The bond and the strength of that pairing is what makes the Brotherhood successful. It's necessary. It's imperative. And as I said, it is unfortunate when the pairing is broken because of the effects on the person who survives. But it sounds like Fordell went out in the way that he was wanting to go out, which is fighting against Ivriksson, fighting against the taint that's spreading across the land again. And people will die. And regarding you and your idea or summation that you're broken, you're not broken. You're forged in fire. You're strengthened. Yes, you carry some wounds, some that will probably never heal. But to say that you're broken is foolish. You're more fire hardened, like a stick. It's been sharpened, put in the fire, and is now tempered and ready to be that thrust against Ivriksson. And I need you to be that person. And as I say, it seems that not only do I need you to be that person, but someone else needs you to be that person as well. Given the fact that as we look around, all this on the floor is you. You shouldn't be here. Someone has higher things in mind for you. I have higher things in mind for you. We will get through this particular test, this particular version of Ivrikson's mind, and then we'll go to the temple, and then maybe at that point you can rest and you can bow out of your service. Right. Leaf, cup of tea. How's that coming along?
Right here.
Right.
You're in the tea section?
In the tea section. Yeah. Ooh. Lapsang Souchong. I'll have some of that. Coffee beans pass through the bowels of a wolf. I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, it's got to be through a monkey's arse.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the
I'll go
quality.
for the cheap stuff.
So the morning wears on. You've obviously got to make a decision as to what to do today. What I don't know what that sound is. Well, I physically do. I don't know where it's coming from.
Is there a cat stuck somewhere? Oh, 1 second.
He's sitting on it.
Yeah. There's a cat hanging off the chandelier.
Was he at the door shouting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the food just went out. Either that or something just died and then shit itself near me.
Either which it could be plausible.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got to make a decision as to what your plan is going to be for the day. Arnung is still a little bit grey around the gills. The fact that he's standing is just a fantastic, show of strength. But you are effectively in a self-locked-in location. In safety. Leaf, you have no indication from your guys that are nearby. No messages are coming through. People are visible to you, depending on the window that you go to. There's no messages coming to you. the day starts to wear on.
Okay, so is it like what are we talking? Late morning, early afternoon? Where are we at in terms of the day?
It'll be late morning.
Late morning. Well, maybe it's Renyir. It's time for you to go and have a quick scout out and see what's transpiring around the barracks and the aftermath of what happened last night. Are you up to it? Are you still feeling okay?
Might be safer than here. Yeah, I like it. Danger zone, all of you. Right, yes, I shall go out.
And Leaf, you're still waiting for your network to report back, I gather?
No, he was just at the door.
In terms of the her Goebbels or anything like that, there's nothing.
Nothing like that yet. No.
Right. Well, I think. Arnum, how are you feeling? Are you back to normal yet, or are you still really under the weather?
It depends, Framling.
Are you capable of being the
would you
shock
want me
trip
to
that I need you to be if we go down into the Temple of More?
If you're asking me to fight, then no.
Right. Well, then you need to rest up. You need to rest up while I
So what is the
consider how.
plan?
Well, we need to find out about that Temple of More. We need to find out what's going on. And we need to root it out, root and branch, and burn it. Not the temple, the inhabitants, the aberration.
So what is that thing? That dark thing in the barracks? It spoke of something dark that lived inside the temple. What was it? Or what is it?
Well, to answer your first question, that thing that was talking to me is an old enemy that I thought was vanquished a millennia ago by Sigmar himself. Apparently that was not the case. Apparently he's still around and will be for some time. But he was taken away once, he can be taken away again. As to the thing down in the temple, unknown what it is, but you can guarantee it's some sort of protection for something that's down there that's of Ivrikson's design, and therefore not good for us, not good for humanity. And that's why we need to get down there and destroy those false worshippers of More, but also ascertain what's going on and what is that thing. I don't know. I don't know until I see it. Even then, maybe not. Leaf, remind me, what did your men say about the access to the temple again? The for More? My mind wanders.
Straight through the temple, but there's a entry through the sewers.
There is an entry through the sewers. Always the sewers. Always the sewers. A scouting maybe, Leaf. Arnum's not in any fit state, so we're not ready to get in there and do some damage. But maybe we can get down there and see what the lay of the land is and take some tentative steps to feel it out before we go in.
Yeah, no problem. 1 second, one of my boys is outside.
Okay.
I step outside and have a word with one of my henchmen. I'm out there 5 minutes. I come back in. So it turns out that Goebbels has picked up all the sewer jacks. They found uniforms in the sewers.
Well, there's only a matter of time then, isn't it, Framling? That.
So that kind of puts us under a bit of pressure now.
But our uniforms were just We're
Yeah,
doled out by this. They can't point to us. What do you think they do?
Well, the commanders knew who I was when I went in, and that's who's being questioned.
And we stick
Will he-
out. Don't we?
will he-
Framling?
Will he break?
Probably.
Right. Okay. Let's see what when Renyir comes back, see what state the barracks area is in, and what information he can bring from that. But we best get ready to move. We need to move to somewhere where we can. Probably need to go somewhere where we can get into the sewers as well, because I have a funny feeling we're not going to be travelling overground as much as we would like, and we're probably going to be travelling underground a lot more than we want to. But we wait on Renyir. How much time
Do you want
will we
anything
get before? How quickly will your men alert us to Herr Goebbels if he's about to make an entry? Do we have enough time to make an exit?
Potentially, but I mean, if it was me kind of coming after you, I would move very, very quickly. I'd come on horseback. I'd come with shock troops. I wouldn't be ambling down the roads, giving them a chance, So we need to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
I'm ready. Arnum, you ready?
I'm ready. Whenever needs must.
Arnung, feel free to help yourself to kind of like a chest plate or something if you. I mean, we've got plenty of kit in here. If you need anything.
I still feel we are unprepared. Don't know what we're up against.
Well, we don't,
No.
but we're being hounded now, so.
I'm not suggesting we make a strike at this stage. I'm suggesting we still need to find out what we're up against. That's the whole point, is to go down the sewers and get to know what it's likely to be. Now, you're not in any fit state for action, so I'm loath to take you down there. I'm more thinking that we need you to be at near full strength when we go in. I need Renyir to tell me what's going on in terms of that barracks area, whether we need to worry about anything that's on there. Just the aftermath.
Leaf, do we have another safe location? Just for the time being.
Well, yeah, we've got the Dragon Ale's brewery. I mean, that's safe now. Obviously, kind of like your friend in the sewers isn't going to cause any more problems. So we can make our way back to the brewery. Certainly not as easier to hide in there, I guess.
Well, we're not going to defend in here. Let's be fair. If Goebbels comes to this place, it's what we're going to endure a siege. It's a matter of it would just be a matter of time before we broke the doors down. We need to be more evasive. So if the brewery allows us, in
which case, well, no, I mean we could go to the Drowned Rat. It's got sewer access where we started.
What happened after the? Is it still open for business after what transpired?
Well, no, but it's mine, so we can do what we please.
And we have to be aware that we're being watched potentially by not just Goebbels, but also remember the priests or the things that are more the servants of the drinker. They found us there.
I would suggest changing our appearance. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm all ears.
All right. Well, there's plenty of in here to kind of like to mask who we are.
Well, let's.
I mean, we could reveal ourselves to a bit of armor and go a bit. It's a bit much. Maybe a few hoods.
I think hoods probably better than armor. I don't think armor's. Again, I don't think we're fighting our way out of anywhere.
I'm just trying to fight the face, but used to are huge, so it's you kind of stick out.
We're always going to stick out.
Hoods would be something that will mask my markings. Arnung's size is something that we can't mask, unless there's some way of hiding him in a wagon.
Yeah,
So
we could get a cart or something. I'll try and organise a cart to take it down to the rat.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. And somewhere one of your men.
Yeah.
Let one of your men know. Let Renyir know when he comes back. If he doesn't come back in time, that where we've gone.
No problem.
Right.
I'll get that organised then.
The cart itself isn't going to be hard to organise. Just takes a bit of time to make sure that everyone that's moving backwards and forwards doing this, they're all very much aware that they don't want to be seen, to attract attention, that sort of thing. A cart coming up to the pawnbrokers this end of town potentially could be noticed, so they take their time once you put out the order. In the meantime, Halt returns. You get advanced warning, of course, through some hand signals through a window that somebody's incoming. Friend, obviously the language that you guys have, it doesn't allow for names, but just ally or friend is returning. The messages continue on, and it gives you a good understand that about 10-15 minutes before Renyir actually pops in the door and gives you the indication of who this friend is. And you do know that Renyir is very good at what he does, so if you guys have spotted him coming, either Renyir's allowed it or your guys are really that good.
Okay.
No, someone's slipping. I'll walk in.
Renyir comes into the kitchen.
Come, boy. What do we have?
The barracks is burnt to a crisp. There was several deaths, 30 in total. Several families are dead, and the militia and the palace guard are roaming the streets.
Looking for
the culprits.
Which they believe is...
They can get close to them for that.
Well, are they looking for us, or are they just looking, roaming the streets, randomly grabbing people?
No, they're securing the area.
Where are they blocking off? Are they blocking off access to the rat?
Is the rat to the north?
West.
No.
Well, northwest.
No. Just round the barracks.
Right, so it's a cordon around the barracks more than anything else. Okay, so they're not locking the city down, is what you're telling me?
No, they're just showing force at the moment. But it might be interesting when they go and ask the priests some more for what they can find out.
Well, they won't find anything about us from if they talk. We don't have to worry about that. They're not priests of Mo. Not only were we not there when they were killing each other, these priests aren't priests of Mo.
Yeah, aren't they the priests pretending to be your fathers?
They are priests. They are pretending to be priests of Mo, but they are not. They are a aberration that worships the most extreme, vicious side of Tal's aspect, the vicious nature of nature, of the red of tooth and claw, and they subscribe to the idea that that's actually a purer form of Tal, which is utter nonsense. However, we know why they think that, because Ivrikson's been in their mind, is still in their mind. So this is a corruption of Tal's virtues, and they are to be treated like any taint of Ivrikson. There is no succor, no quarter to be given to them. They are no better than the things in the Northern Waste, in my mind. But I don't believe that they have the ability to commune as more priests do with the dead. But however, even if that was the case, we weren't there when what happened. We came in after.
Unless the one that you made the deal with told them.
Yeah, and that's not. Yeah, that's the sort of thing you would do, wouldn't it? Well, we need to get out of here, and we need to head towards the to the rat. We need to be on the move.
Hang fire on that. I've got word that the friendly is not incoming, so we might want to have a word with these.
Okay.
Quick question, Framling. I mean, it might be a bit late in the day for this, but couldn't we just kind of like produce a body and get them to turn up and then go to the temple with them?
Well, that would, on the outside, that would provide us access as a perfectly reasonable way to be visiting the temple. However, if those worshippers in there are aware of us, we are just walking straight into.
Well, that's the late in the day part. I mean, have we been made? I think you have. You know.
So we'd be walking directly into a trap. Or at least into a prepared ground. They'd be waiting for us, and they'd be waiting to. I don't know actually what they would think. To be fair, it's a bit of a conundrum for me. They worship my father. They worship my father's aspect, a aspect of him. How they would receive me is unknown. I suspect, though, not favourably. I suspect that they'd be more likely to want to end me rather than give me any deference, given my status and the nature of who I am. Given all those unknowns, I don't wish to walk in unprepared.
Just not.
But it is an option. It may be an option for one of your network, though, to go in and scout it out. Take a body in.
I mean, surely if there's kind of like a barracks full of dead bodies, those guys are going to be pretty busy today.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Plus
But
the 30 civilians.
Sorry?
Plus the 30 civilians.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a perfect time to be there, but I mean, we're not really fighting fit, are we? So.
Well, Arnung isn't. But are you suggesting this could be a scouting idea?
Potentially. Could take a look.
No,
Not you, of course.
I think that's a good idea, actually, thinking about it. Renyir, are you up to this?
Where am I going?
Well, you're going in the Temple of Maw. With potentially one of Leif's associates. Or maybe he's not, I don't know. I don't like the idea of sending the boy in by himself.
I could go with him.
You understand that this is purely a scouting mission. You know, this is purely in and out, find out what you need to be a sponge to everything that's there. It's not about trying to attack anyone or anything like that. You get in, you get out.
I'm really used to things going smoothly.
I believe that you're lying, Leif. But I like the way you lie. Yep. Okay, let's do that. That's a good idea. We'll let Arnung rest a bit more. And I'm not going to talk to my father, but I'm going to talk to someone. while this is all going on. But first, let's get us to the rat unseen, or at least unnoticed.
Okay, I'll go to the front window and watch out for whoever's coming.
So we're not doing the scouting mission?
We are, but we're going to the rat first. I've got some clothes and we can disguise ourselves as kind of like, grieving family.
As you stand, you pop you've got to open the door and look out, I'm assuming. You're looking out the main door.
Yeah, unless the windows are clean, yeah.
No, it's deliberately grimed up anyway, but it's in a grimy part of town. It didn't, they didn't have to add to the atmosphere.
I was going to keep to the ambiance.
Yeah. Okay, so you're looking out the window. Renyir, you're still kind of in the doorway itself. Arnung, Framling, you're through the open doorway. Nobody's told us to close. You're in the kitchen. It's early afternoon. The time and hours have seemingly flown by with conversation, reflection, that sort of thing. Leaf?
Yeah. I'll open the door.
As in, you've already got the door open when you've looked out.
Yeah, I recognise who's coming and usher them in.
Okay. Arnung, Framling, you hear the door open, footstep, somebody enters. It sounds like a couple of people enter. Renyir, you can see who's up front. You recognise both men. There's the heavy set shape of Ludwig Gruber, and Oberlander walks in behind him. He looks down at you. Oberlander looks at you for a moment, then dismisses you. Gruber standing close by. My friend, we haven't been introduced. Oberlander looks at you, Leaf. I'm here to see Arnung. I've been reliably informed he is here.
He is. What's your business with him?
We need to talk. I take it he's out back.
Hmm.
He walks past you. Ludwig nods at you. It's a non-committed sort of committal. Maybe just a recognition of, just somebody that he knows, or he just sort of gives a sign of recognition of actually seeing you anyway. Oberlander steps into the room. He sees both you and Arnung and Framling. He takes a seat without being invited directly opposite you, Arnung. You note that this heavy-set man, Framling, walks in behind him. He's not as big as Arnung by any means, but he's a brute. He's a big man. He's a rough man. Bits of his ears are missing. Nose has been broken several times. The heavy-looking face of a pounded head. That sort of a fist fight, a big ass knuckles on him, big bear-like hands. He's a big man, a strong man. No weapons are visible. He stands in the doorway. Arnung, he sits down in front of you, Arnung. Oberlander sits down in front of you, Arnung. I've tried to help you, but you won't be helped. I've warned you to stay out of the city's business. I've even approached you with an invite to Null so you'll be part of a bigger family. The Underlords were against it. Since arriving, you've caused nothing but mayhem, and you've showed me nothing but disrespect, and I have tolerated this because of your reputation, because of all the stories of this fearsome, terrible Arnung, the Norseman warrior, killer of all, the man of all these stories, how you secured the north against the Skaven, how you destroyed and pushed back the Norsai, and how you became the ruler of the Northern Territories. And I made a mistake. If you were that man, you no longer are. Personally, I don't think you ever were. It was exaggeration. There was just stories. You're a once was, a has been, and now you're a distraction, an irritating problem to remove. You're an old man that should have been removed years ago. Had I known, had I come north, I'd have took it from you. Know that after tonight, your line ends. The big man that's come with him steps a little bit closer into the room. I'm going to send Theodore Glutstein. I'm going to send him north to visit your wife and your children. I don't have to. For your lack of respect, you deserve nothing less. You should have done as you were told. You should have left when I allowed you to. You're done, Arnung. You're done. He goes to stand up. Oh, does stand up.
Oberlander, please, sit.
He looks to the big man and sits down. I'll let you have your say.
I'm done. You have said a lot, Oberlander. Too much, in fact. I feel the time is right for you all to be silent. It is my turn to talk. Then we'll be done. Everybody wanted Nordland. You all want to lay claim to it. You know what a promise is, Oberlander. Let me tell you a little story about a promise. You see, it's not just about the words that leave your mouth. It's every drop of blood, sweat, and tears you're willing to spill for those words. My brother Fordell and I were orphans. That was God's plan, you see. We were adopted by the wild, I guess in more ways than one. We were big, strong, built for one purpose, to crush all that stood before us. That's why the North suited us. It's harsh, bitter, cold, vast, unforgiving. The North always stood strong. I said to Fordell long ago, to rule it would be brave. To tame it would require enormous balls. He said he had balls bigger than mules. He was right. But I said it needed more than just big balls to tame and rule. What you needed was to be smart. I promised him that day, and remember this, Oberlander, I promised him that one day we wouldn't be remembered as orphans. You go on as if you're something special, but you're just a small speck of dust. While you were a small, insignificant tadpole in your father's equally small testicles, my blades had already tasted blood. Remember, Oberlander, it's all about my promise. And I promised him that one day we wouldn't be remembered as orphans. You think you're special, running Middenheim, Yet you're just someone's little errand boy, someone's little bitch. I have fought things your little mind couldn't even fathom. But you're so wet, so limp. For fuck's sake, I've seen women with bigger balls. You're so far down the food chain, you forget your place. The North remembers. I remember. You speak of Middenheim as if I shouldn't be concerned. Where was your city when the Ratkin feasted upon our world like a plague? Where was your Middenheim, your city, when the North was invaded? Yet, it still stands. The North never forgot. It never forgets. And oh, I remember. I fought knights of the palace to the creatures of the night. I watched my one and only brother die in my very arms. I watched the plague eat and tear away at our lands. Yet my blades did not falter. I battled on for my promise. And remember, Oberlander, it's all about the promise. And I promised him that one day we wouldn't be remembered as orphans. The North still stands. And will always stand because that's what the gods intended. Look at me! I've been cut so many times, I have fallen so many times, and rose up again. You could be fooled to think I was immortal. You had it all planned, right? You had my man intercepted. Well done. Or while you were off playing with the boys, the man was on the hunt. I've had my eyes on you for years, little boy, waiting for the moment. And now finally, you have shown me the hand. You listen to me! You are nothing more than a festering little maggot. I am Arnung, the great hunter. I will hunt in each and every last one of you and cut you from existence. While you were here prancing around with your city folk, I have a whole nation at my disposal. You all want the North? You can't handle the North! You all forget, but I remember. You talk as if you could harm me? Arnung? The metal that made your blades would look at you in disbelief as you swing your blades in my direction. That look to say, really? Are you absolutely shitting sure that you want to do this because there's a damn good fucking chance this bastard's gonna get up again and again and again? Who dares to raise their blade against me? For 15 years. For 15 years, I hadn't tasted the blade upon my chest, upon my flesh. But an old friend, he reminded me of the importance of promise. And last night, the blood spilled. It brought it all back. I forgot who I was, Oberlander, but now I remember. I fear no man. I answer to no man. Oberlander, when I said I was the king of the North, I lied, because that was never my promise. When you asked why I was here, Oberlander, I lied, because that was never my promise. Remember, it's all about my promise, and I promised him that one day we wouldn't be remembered as orphans, but as rulers of kings. I'm done. No. You're done, Oberlander. Time to cut you from existence, boy.
Ludwig steps forward. You hear the sound of the dagger coming from his sheath. He punches it straight through the back of Oberlander's neck, just below the skull. The knife coming out through his mouth. Just as he then reels back, grabbing towards his own back, and Framling blasts him from the side of the table. Both Oberlander and Ludwig smashing into the staircase and the wall beside him. Leaf, you're standing there as all of this happens. Oberlander dies, but the moment that the knife penetrates through his back as Ludwig assassinates him, you note Renyir dive forward. He's ramming his knife, a long straight-bladed dagger, in through his lower ribcage into his lungs, and before him the blast of light and force catching both of them, smashing them both away from Arnung, who stands at the table, looking down at the devastation, this spray of blood from both of these men who become almost unrecognisable corpses.
Fuck me.
Well, it appears the city is mine.
And we'll leave it there.
Didn't get to give him a speech. I was going to give a speech. I was going to be shouting my epitaphs, but I was like,
it just goes to show what's going on. Basically, wow. You made me jump several times. No, I'm angry, Oberlander.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. It's a bit of a shame that Ludwig didn't survive. Yeah. Literally, it was coming up on the screen there. Both people are like acted at the same time. Just knife, kill, stab, boom. Oh.
He's on our side.
Yeah, he was my guy.
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludwig's your guy.
Was.
Yeah.
Was.
Good. Need to know. Never mind.
Well, there's your body.
Framling's it went full Ulmaco, and that was the bit because you're going to see. Well, we'll not go ahead into it. Well, you will see the after effect because I'm going to be somewhat enraged. That I am enraged. You're going to see. I'm going to be glowing like a 200-watt bulb.
That's the thing is obviously Arnung and Oberlander were eyes locked, oblivious to this sort of glowing light that was emanating, starting to flow through the room. Renyir and Leaf weren't. They were well aware that Framling was getting pissed, weren't you, lads?
Vegas edging. It's gonna explode.
I like how Leaf, the one that has connections to the city, is just standing there calmly going, yeah. I mean,
it's not great for me. It's not a good day for me at all.
I think the word is had connections to the city, but I think they've taken up farming somewhere in the border princes.
Actually, no. I mean, kind of like I'm still well in control. It just kind of like elevates us a little bit, I think.
You've just met your new boss.
Promotion. Well,
I
mean, technically.
I hope you guys were listening. I hope you guys were listening to. You didn't sort of tune out and preparing your own actions here. Arnung, I mean, we're gonna have to go with that, Talbot. We've got some time here. We're about 15 minutes ahead of schedule. I was looking to finish the roll off, but I could see that as a group you were keen to move on, and I had the scene was set for certain locations. And I was a bit concerned that you would end up in a situation this couldn't happen and would kind of leave us hanging. So we'll start with Talbot. Obviously, you weren't expecting Oberlander. I mean, this is going to be the same sort of opening sentence for everyone, technically. But Oberlander comes in. When he's first walked in the room, were you expecting just another warning shot across the bow? How do you think Arnung's taken Oberlander coming at him in such a strong way? I mean, he wasn't holding back there. The guy had lost his shit. He was insulting. He threatened your family straight out the bat almost. But he finished off, and he was so cocky with the, I'll let you have your say. I mean, that's of course, Leaf and Renyir. These guys didn't know that Ludwig was, and they both know Ludwig. They didn't know Ludwig was your man anyway. That was a big reveal. But how do you think Arnung's? Well, I could see actually from the way that I was feeling. It brought out a bit of darkness out of Arnung that nobody's seen yet.
Mm.
I think it's been dormant in him for a while, though. It's been slowly coming, especially based on the last few sessions and since the appearance of Framling. What's been sort of transpired, sort of like previous night, took, seeing this, this creature, and it all came back to him. And it was all frightening stuff, but I think it's the shake, the sort of jolt that Arnung needed to sort of remind him of who he is, his promise, because he spoke a lot about his promise there that he made to Fordell that, one day they'd rule this one, this great Nordland, this great land, which technically Arnung already does.
Yeah.
But I think Arnung isn't. He won't be completely satisfied until he rules it all. I think that's clearly the direction that he wants to go. He had his eyes on Oberlander a while ago, and I think I'm glad it went the way it did, because it could. I mean, it was a few sessions ago when we had that meeting with Oberlander, and he gave me another sort of stark warning to say, why are you here? Questioning me. He was rather rude, and I think Arnung could have easily have just snapped then, but I think the timing wouldn't have been right. I feel now with this and what's happened and the way it's happened, this injury that Arnung has sort of sustained, and it's all sort of brought it back very, very fresh. And I think it was a perfect opportunity to meet Oberlander and sort of remind everybody, I guess, whoever was listening in the room. I think it was more directed at everybody, because I think, at the start he did say it's time for you all to be silent, and it's my time to talk. So that was more of a directed towards everybody to say, look, I've been quiet for so long. There's things I need to get off my chest and remind you where I've come from and where my direction lies.
So do you think it was mainly triggered by the near-death experience? There's something, because obviously, the main thing that people can forget is how old Arnung is. He is a veteran, he's an old man, he's survived many things that these guys haven't seen or witnessed. But he is a ruler, he ruled the north, he has fought and successfully fought his way against many enemies. But he was in retirement, wasn't he? He had taken his foot off the accelerator, and now he's been thrust. It's only been 5 days since he's been brought out of retirement. 6 days, sorry.
Well,
6
days. Yeah.
And you've been stabbed, you've come up against demons, and it's been a hell of a few days. But this death's door situation, this is obviously an eye opener for everybody else. Regardless, Renyir knows of your reputation. He's known you a few months. He's worked his way through the training. Well, no, he's known you for years, but he's never seen this side of Arnung. Holt, how do you think Renyir's dealing with everything? Never mind that what he's just seen. I could see that Renyir was quick to step in to protect Arnung. I can see his allegiance is to Arnung more than anything else. He saw the threat. He was preparing to step in and put himself in that harm's way. And obviously, then Framling, put it this way, Renyir's just seen a couple of things. One, the Arnung that he was warned against, the psycho, don't bring shit up and don't wind him up, but you've never seen it in 2 years you've known him. You've still put yourself out there, you're a young lad, and then on top of that, the demigod just made 2 men blow up in front of you.
He's going to be pickled.
The last couple of minutes of Renyir's life have just went down a certain path, haven't they, surely? How do you think Renyir's feeling?
Wishing he just left on that boat. Yeah, I should have stayed on that cart and went on that boat.
You could have been a happy seaman by now.
Yep.
Buying the fishing trades in the north.
No demons, no nothing.
Well, you wouldn't want to be in the Sea of Claws for that then.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is we're going to have to deal with, obviously, because I ended it there, as Framling and you kill Ludwig effectively just as Framling evaporated their souls. I wanted to leave it there, and it's obviously going to start with Framling coming back. It's going to go boom, bastards. No doubt. And Renyir's going to be standing there, blood splattered, no doubt hyperventilating. I'm not moving away yet. Go on.
The despair thought for this poor Joseph was going to come to work tomorrow.
exploded.
You're gonna be shitting me!
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, he's going to send Leaf the cleaning bill. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you want to, I know you're saying that, Renyir, you think Renyir would prefer to have stayed on the boat and avoid the demons, but is it just going to be is it going to be next week, do you think, that we're going to see the fallout from Renyir, how he's going to deal with what he's just seen, what he's witnessed? Is he even further out of his depth, feeling like he's drowning and surrounded by these people?
No, it's more of a. How can I say this? He's always been loyal to Arnung, so it's just when Oberlander got angry, that's when it was like, that's it. My fear of him went, so I stepped behind Ludwig. But yeah, it's just another thing to add on top of the demons. It's like, it's just like first off, demigods. What, they're real? Yeah, Brotherhood, they're real as well. It's just everything. Is just like going chip away, chip away, chip away. It's like, sociopath killer.
Yeah, the last couple of days have really sort of been an eye-opener for him, no doubt. I mean, clearly when you say that Renyir's sort of defense mechanism for Arnung was that he went up behind Ludwig Gruber ready to put a knife through him. I mean, that in itself is a big deal. Ludwig was distracted by the glowing tribesman, to put it bluntly. That's how you got behind him. And you just ignored that because you're like, it's a demigod, they could do that, surely. Whereas, obviously, to Ludwig, that's new. That guy's glowing. So, the fact is that you're going to go up against Ludwig. I mean, that's a ballsy move regardless, I think Ivan himself would admit that Leaf would be second-guessing going into close proximity with Ludwig. There's a reason Oberlander only turned up with one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you act too quick. It's like, try and revert. No, pull back.
Yeah.
No, you're dead.
See, Leaf didn't perceive either as being a threat.
No.
And if you knew Oberlander is full of shit. He was just a blustery fucking head fit the face man, because
there's your advantage over a 15-year-old.
Because if Arnung was going to be taken care of, he would know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So kind of like he's sitting there going, well, that was premature. That could have been handled by Leaf differently. You know what I mean? If there had been kind of like a little bit of forewarning and stuff like that, if he knew there was going to go, he would have handled things differently. But obviously, kind of like I wasn't expecting any of this,
Exactly.
because I mean, to me, Oberlander is kind of like not a threat at all.
Or he's not now.
Well,
Yeah.
no, he never was. He never was
Yeah.
really a threat. It was all words, because Leaf would have known if there was a real true threat.
But as you say, Oberlander
I don't know how much I can reveal about Leaf, really. I mean, can I? Do I? You know what I mean?
It's up to you. I mean,
not in this
generally we
scene.
would do it-
At the end, I would say in the scene you'd do it. You would do it here.
Exactly. Yeah, in game. So you can't go into detail of anything that you haven't revealed about Leaf.
Precisely.
Point,
yeah. So kind of to me, I kind of have to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And they're being a little bit nonplussed, going, well, kind of got it.
Well, you can explain. I suppose you can, from Leaf's point of view, is they know that you're connected with Oberlander. You've just watched Oberlander destroyed, outright. He's dripping from the ceiling. You've just seen Ludwig stabbed by Renyir. That you can comment on. You see this 15-year-old just go behind this, this enforcer and put a knife through him just before Framling exploded. And of course, you've just seen Framling use power that eclipses what you've seen before. You've never experienced what you just seen Framling do. He stood there, he started to glow, and then suddenly, bam! And there was literally pulped mass against the wall.
Yeah, I mean that.
Renyir's going to have white hair now.
I'm kind of looking at the situation, going kind of like the person who played all of that the worst was Oberlander.
Yep. kind of
giving it the big balls. What a fucking numpty, because he's scared of Goebbels.
Well, the thing is, he didn't know Framling. Doesn't know what Framling is. He's just this backwards tribal guy from the north that's come down with furs. He didn't have the advantage of knowing that this is Framling, and what that means.
Well, yeah, but he did have the advantage of knowing that I was heavily involved in this situation.
Absolutely, he did, yes, and
he
did
never
not
ever once came to me.
No, you're right, absolutely sure. But now he's gone. He's absolutely dead. He's not getting up from this. And of course, you've heard Arnung say, "Rule the north, I rule everywhere. I don't answer to anybody. This city is now mine." And you're going, man. But you've just, you're kind of looking at these two guys. You've just seen Renyir, this 15-year-old sort of, burglar, is obviously very quick to murder. You've got Arnung, who's obviously well involved in things that even you as Leaf didn't know about. He's been involved with the city, he's been infiltrating it. And then you've got the Immortal. It's got to be an eye-opener for Leaf to go, yeah, you've definitely hitched yourself to the right wagon here. You're standing by them.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the thing is, I don't know how much Arnung knows about Leaf now, if the city's being infiltrated.
Well, that's it, and we'll have to find out in the next episode. I'll have to quickly move on to Nevin. So Framling was holding it all in, but obviously, as everybody else is no doubt aware, Framling sees things that the mere mortals don't. But I take it Framling, the prehistoric barbarian that he comes from, was reacting to the aggression in the room.
It was a combination of he went back all Semethai. How dare you? I'm Semethai. There's still some still kernel of that. You come in here with threats, not to me, but to me, and I'm Semethai. You don't know who I am. I'm Semethai. Forget my parentage and all that sort of stuff. And then also it's also that Framling is going, I've got all sorts of like top level shit going on, and yous lot are pissing against a wall about who's got the biggest dick. I'm over that. I am so over that. And that's where it was a combination of, you've just threatened a Semethai, you absolute nothing, and now you're getting in my way against things that you can't even comprehend that I'm trying to save you from, and therefore, Semethai, how dare you? You never threatened me. And then it's just because of he's going back in time, because there's people who've come back from the old times to remind him, and one of those things is to remind him, well, you were Semethai once. No one would ever come with that sort of manners and that sort of attitude in a room. Not just Semethai, Soviet, Don't you know who I am? Clearly he didn't, and briefly he did for a nanosecond, and then now he's with Moore. Or maybe he's not.
He's with Ahalt, no doubt, because Moore is not here at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. He's currently having his soul fed upon, and that's a really bad day for him.
At least we've got a valid reason to call the priests of Moore and ask them to bring a fucking bucket.
got some tripe.
Yeah, how to get the priests of Ahalt here? Mahaha. Yeah. Well, next week, obviously, we have a Power Gulf. Oberlander's, that's the other thing is for all four of you. Oberlander showed up, as Leaf was well aware. You were talking about Goebbels. Leaf wasn't concerned about Oberlander per se, but Oberlander generally is the guy that Goebbels goes to for certain things. Oberlander's turned up. He didn't look like he was turning up for Goebbels' benefit, but we didn't. He was there to kill Arnung effectively. He believed that Ludwig was enough. You could see the confidence in the way that he walked in, that he did not recognise Renyir and Framling as a threat, and there was a clear, as you're well aware, because Leaf admitted to it, there's a connection. But he turned up with Ludwig. He was there to clean his shop. So really Leaf's going to have to reach out. Arnung has declared the city his in this room. Ludwig would have helped in that respect. But we need to also explore the ins and outs of that as well next week. So next week is going to be quite an interesting thing of Renyir hiding in the corner, wiping himself down. Leaf and Arnung from the mortal realm looking at the city itself and what happens now with Oberlander dead, and his connections with the Goebbels, and Framling being mightily pissed off. So COVID is very aggressive right now. But I mean, the main thing here is that we've just seen Arnung really sort of come into his own. You know, remember who he is, what he is, and step into the light. It'll be interesting to see next week how Arnung is now going to be. Not the quiet, withdrawn guy. If he's going to be the presence that Framling expected from when he first met him, you know, and brought him in on this. And then what's the journey in Middenheim going to be now? Because effectively, especially between Leif and Arnung, you own the city, the underworld anyway. That's going to be it's going to be different to see how that happens. So, yeah,
I did see in the game, but I'm not sure whether that was picked up because when I was talking about kind of like dealing with Goebbels, I did say, "Do you want us to deal with Goebbels?"
Well, yeah.
But I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
Obviously, we're out of character now, but kind of I was actually like, you know, offering to neck the fucker. So,
well, I don't know.
The option is there. I think we need to get rid of him because he's just a pain in the arse at this point.
So,
You'll have to get in line.
Was that in game Framling? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that either.
No, I did mention it when we're talking about Goebbels. You know, I said kind of like, you know, if what do you want to do?
If you said it that way, maybe I thought you meant deal as in negotiate with him. Yeah.
Well, just bear in mind that Leaf's kind of like a bit of a twat. Anyway, deal with people for you.
Yeah, by throwing Renyir at
them. A twat.
and he's looking for new employment.
Yeah, he's suddenly out of a job.
Here's my CV.
Yeah. Well, guys, I thought that was a powerful episode. I was blown away by how it all ended. You know, it was quite powerful the way that Arnung lost his shit, put Oberlander in his place. It's twice now during these series, these books, that I've had Ulmacore make me jump when he suddenly screamed out, man. You know, me. Oh my God! I was like, yeah! You know, I was actually in the room when you did that, and I'm upstairs at this point, and Arnung just made me jump. It's like, you know, good stuff, powerful stuff. I like to see it, the involvement's there, and I like the subtlety from the other two, and ultimately the quick response when the shit hits the fan. You're ready to kill and kill decisively. There's no messing about.
I feel kind of bad about not getting involved with the, you know, I had kind of a vested interest in not doing that, you know.
But you could be like the Rock from Ragnarok, where you suddenly run off and go, piss off, Uberlander, and kick a sloppy bit off the floor.
I was going to say you can just go and just like pick up a tripe.
Sort of run up there with a stick.
Join the revolution.
Yeah, but again, so yeah, no, I mean, one thing is not to underestimate, we've just seen a massive blast of power. This shit doesn't happen in the real world. You have nothing at all in your lives to being able to compare this to. That's definitely something you three mortals are going to have to sort of deal with. You're going to discuss it. There's no way you let what you just saw go without going, oh. You know, he was just standing there. Yeah. He started to glow in itself. You know, his eyes, everything, and then suddenly, boom! There was this, motion that obliterated two guys in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
So you know, we're staying in game for next week. It's going to be in character. I want you to bear that in mind when you think about how you're going to talk to Framling, and how you deal with that sort of show of power. And of course,
I've always been rather respectful of the man.
With notes. Just leave a note at Framling's door.
Anything you want. He has a sandwich. But let's not take away from the fact that Arnung has been playing Oberlander all along, and he's been infiltrating the city. Renyir was just the latest, apparently. Of course, Arnung, how are you going to deal with the loss of someone that's been in your employ, a trusted friend, for a good 10 years? Shit. So, well, guys, that's me done. Has anybody got anything?
Oh,
well,
next week.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Did the music come through about any chance, by any way?
No. Nah. It did briefly. I heard at the end.
I heard you fine.
I was like, like, you know.
That did come through, right? I was playing tense music. There was the music called Oberlander, and there was background and atmosphere going on. Nothing. Brilliant.
No, we didn't hear any of that.
No.
Unless
maybe
the viewers hear it.
Maybe it's the video. Maybe the video will pick it all up, and we'll go, "Oh, that sounds great." Shame it would have really helped if it had been there.
Yeah, that would have helped with the atmosphere. Well, guys, thanks very much. We'll get this uploaded tomorrow onto YouTube, and everybody that's watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe. Come and watch us live. Watch the videos, and if you're fresh, you're going to have to want to check the older stuff and see what the hell just happened there, what's gone on. It's a big deal, it's a big episode. But next week will be episode 16. And this was called Aftermath.
More math, actually.
So it's next week's Aftermath.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It feels like it should be Aftermath.
Yeah.
So we'll, and hopefully after everybody sort of stares at each other sullenly for a while, and there's a lot of growling and shouting at each other, maybe he'll go off and summon the priests of Ahalt. And what will Goebbels do? That's the thing. What will he
start getting on a horse about now and start riding?
Because if burning the city down, as it was pointed out, he has access to the sewer jack commanders. It's only a matter of time before he gets somewhere. And now Oberlander's just vanished. So we'll see what happens, especially if Arnung starts walking around with his flag. I'm in charge. Thump. Standing there on top of the Ulrich's temple with the Nordland flag. We'll see what happens. So,
do you have a flag?
Do you have a flag?
You can't claim the city then.
You can't claim that without a flag. Well, guys, thanks very much for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. It's meant to leave you slightly aggressive and eager to get back into it next Thursday, and we'll see you in a week's time.
See you
later.
Ta-da.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.